there. Now, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission says they cannot say much now about the plans to pay two firms in connection with the controversial Anglo Leasing contracts. But the CEO, Matemu, maintains the commission never stopped probing the deals.
We have been running investigations on the various Anglo Leasing matters, and the investigations are still going on. And we so far have said whatever else happens, the investigation should not be compromised. I would also like to tell you that the law on mutual legal assistance is now in place, and because of that, we are able to broaden our investigations on Anglo Leasing.
Investigations still ongoing with a word that has come to be an ugly word in Kenyan politics, Anglo Leasing. Tonight we're speaking to the man who first tabled documents regarding this whole saga in Parliament 10 years ago. That's how far back this stretches for my MP Malcolm Aure. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Who are the players? The word shadowy comes up so often when we're talking about Anglo Leasing. You know, when David Miraria first said that this was a scandal that never was, money was refunded from whom we don't know. Even to date, as the government says we want to pay this 1.4 billion, it's still not clear. Who in your mind are the players in this whole saga? Who are we paying?
No, I think the issue that arises is whoever is paying knows who they are paying. They will tell you they don't know who they are paying, but I'm sure there's something called KYC in any account holder in a bank. Somebody says, this is my address, this is my name, this is my ID or passport number. Surely somebody knows more than they are disclosing. Now, the fact that it has taken 10 years and we are still having investigations ongoing, I think we are on the third Anti-Corruption Commission director. First it was Ringera, then after Ringera there was temporarily when John Mutonyi, who was there for about a year, then Lumumba came in. Lumumba came in after Ringera, then Mutonyi almost a year. I think it is just a musical chairs game.
Do you believe Matemu saying they will investigate? Do you think we'll ever get to the bottom of this scandal?
Well, to say you are investigating and investigating, those are two different issues. So whether he is doing it or not, I wouldn't vouch to say yes or no. Whether I believe he is doing something on it or not, that would be my personal opinion. It will not help much. But I know the complexity of the shadowy nature of it is that if a crime is committed by civilians, you and me, citizen versus citizen, the Republic comes in. Now, the Republic comes in and intervenes and defines it as a crime. Now, you have a crime by the Republic. A political establishment like the one we have, the payment that is due, for example, is of the postal or satellite devices that were supposed to have been supplied in 1998-99.
That's right.
That was during the Moi administration. Then we come in the Kibaki administration. They inherited 6 of them that were ongoing during the Moi administration. Within a span of a year, they added theirs 12. Then we have elections that happened. Kibaki left office. He added over to a new administration. So we have like an umbilical cord tying the 3 regimes of Moi, Kibaki, and now Uhuru government is under pressure to pay. They will pretend they are not party to it, but you know the government is a continuous entity.
Right, regardless of who is at the helm of it. Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich has said that this will adversely affect our financial standing, particularly with reference to the sovereign bond, which is now going to be a big part of our budget 2013-2014. Do you believe, some people are saying this is 1.4 billion Kenya shillings. The sovereign bond is 1.5 billion US dollars. Some saying that is a bit of a drop in the ocean and that might not affect us. Of course, the CS is saying it's a matter of reputation and whether we do adhere to the law. Do you believe the CS when he says if we don't pay this money, we'll be in trouble?
Well, I believe he is right in the sense that it is the government in trouble, having put itself in trouble. If I remember during the transactions of Anglo Leasing cases in Europe, the British Serious Fraud Office came forward and said they had the information from UK and Switzerland that they were keen to share with the Kenyan government. That was in 2007. So they wrote and said, we are ready to give this information to you so that you can use and prosecute the case.
Did we use that information?
Then the issue was between the Attorney General and the Anti-Corruption Director at that time. You pick the information and use it. Of course, they were not very enthusiastic about it, so they never picked it. 4 months later, the Serious Fraud Office wrote and said, if you don't want to use this information, we are closing the case.
Okay.
However, we are going to reopen in case you decide to use it.
And to date?
To date, nobody is keen on it.
What does that tell you about successive governments? You've talked about the umbilical cord tying them.
The issue is that...
do you think there's will in the government?
Since there is a court order, and there's nobody who has complained about a court order, the court order was against the Kenyan government. So in the wisdom of the Kenyan government, they have not found it necessary to challenge it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let me just ask you this one as we close. MPs recently said, the Jubilee MPs, after their meeting with the CS, they will not be used as rubber stamps. They say theirs is an oversight authority, and they're in effect throwing it back to cabinet. What next? What happens from here now?
I think it is a matter of the government to decide what to do. Unless they challenge that court ruling, it remains a court order.
Do you think there's still room to challenge that? Appeal and appeals that the Kenyan government has lost?
I want to believe nobody has actually made a decision to appeal. Because you don't appeal when you don't defend yourself at the preliminary stage.
So what are you saying?
No, there wasn't an intention to appeal. Because there wasn't an intention to defend in the first place. So the court ruling was done. Once it is done, and the court ruling is there, the sovereign body you are looking for as a government, they will tell you, no, we can't deal with you because your credit rating is low. And the moment you don't, actually is what you call, you do it, you are damned, you don't, you are damned.
So then we have to pay, in your opinion?
I wouldn't say about the payment. My opinion may not help. You know, they can decide to pay. Whether we say they pay or not, it won't matter.
Okay, all right. And we have to leave it at that. Thank you very much, former Member of Parliament Maoka Maore, who first tabled the Anglo Leasing documents in Parliament 10 years ago, giving us his perspective on the way forward when it comes to paying that 1.4 billion shillings to these Anglo Leasing companies. And of course, that conversation will continue. Which way forward? Like he says, damned if we do, damned if we don't. Is that your opinion? Do let us know on our Twitter feed. Right now, KTN Week in Prime Take.